Hello everyone out there in Optimal Spine Facebook chiropractic land. It's Dr. Jen Kordonsky at Optimal Spine Chiropractic. And this evening's class was supposed to be called Getting the Most Out of Your Adjustment. But I got a little confused, and that was the class that we did last week. So this is going to be the makeup of the class I was supposed to teach last week called You Are What You Eat. But stay tuned because nutrition plays an important role in getting the most out of your adjustment. So if that was your primary concern, then you may want to stick around and stay with me for this, and then go to our YouTube channel and see what we did last week where we spoke specifically about getting the most out of your adjustment. So I promise you both classes are, and all of the classes we teach are designed to help you get the most out of your adjustment. Express your full potential is it's our goal for you. You know, we are not here to just make you feel better, put Band-Aids on things. We really want your engagement in your care to be a life-changing experience. And when we're talking about your nerve system, it really can be. So this week's class will now be You Are What You Eat. And that's an expression I remember hearing that expression as a child, right? It's probably something you've said many times yourself. But I want you to think about how true it really is, because every cell in your body is going to die and be replaced by a new cell. Now, some cells, like our skin cells, are very quickly being replaced. You know, every day we're getting new skin cells. Our red blood cells are going to last 120 days before they're replaced. Bone cells are being changed every single day. Some tissues are slower to change, but make no mistake, they estimate that about every 9 months, every cell in your body is new again. And where do those new cells come from? Your body takes the building materials from the food that you eat and assembles the proteins and the amino acids and the phospholipid bilayer of the cell. All of those parts literally come from the foods that you eat. Now, it's the amazing intelligence that's in your body that knows how to take all of those ingredients, whether it be Doritos and Dr. Pepper, or it's, kale and asparagus. Your body takes those constituents, the ingredients from what you've put in, and makes new cells, makes your body new. So think about this. Your body is your home. It is the place that you reside. And it's your vehicle for getting things done in this lifetime, for experiencing life through. So if we're talking about making repairs or building new rooms onto your actual home, wouldn't you want to use the best materials that you could afford? Wouldn't you want to use the most, the materials that suited the situation, right? If this was your home and there was a hole in the roof, you certainly wouldn't want to just patch it with a tarp. You would want to get the best quality shingles that you can and replace repair the damage. So think about that with your body. If you're making new parts, you're going to want to put in good quality nutrients and building blocks with which you're going to make your body out of. So when you think about it that way, you are what you eat. It makes it more exciting, more empowering to put good foods into your body. I want to point out that food should also be a pleasurable experience. Humans are wired to enjoy eating. Food is also a social experience, a way that we connect with ourselves and with others. So I want you to think about eating to nourish yourself physically with the nutrients that you need to heal and repair, but also eating to nourish yourself emotionally. Think about and notice, catch yourself when you might be eating not to nourish yourself, but mindlessly, not thinking about it. Eating to deal with emotions, eating to punish yourself. I know sometimes we feel like we have to eat certain foods and, oh, I was bad last week, so now I have to eat good. And that's more of a punishment than it is a nurturing of our bodies. So notice, don't be mad at yourself, just notice, become aware, and have the mindset of wanting and creating a situation where every time you eat something, you are nurturing and nourishing your body physically and emotionally. So there's so much more to healthy eating and nourishing eating than just what are good foods and what are bad foods. I used to get very caught up in that. But there's a lot more to it. How you feel about what you're eating and the reasons behind it can change a good food to a bad food for your body and a bad food to a good food. So what I want to have you focus on is something that we understand about the way your brain works, is that it works by addition. So if we were to sit here and I was to tell you, do not think of a chocolate cake right now, probably all of you got a little mental picture of a chocolate cake. Your ideal version of the chocolate cake with whatever, kind of icing you want it to look like, sprinkles or not, but you had a mental picture, but I told you not to, right? So why did you think of it? Because your brain doesn't really work by subtraction. It's very hard to tell your brain not to do something or not to think of something. This happens when we are having troubling thoughts, right? And we try not to think of this thing that's making us scared or anxious. And unfortunately, that tends to make you think about it more and more and more. So the brain doesn't work by subtraction. It works by addition. So we can add something far more easily than we can take away something. So think about being successful in nourishing and nurturing your body with food by adding more of what you want, and worry less about taking away the things that you don't want. So I'm going to give you a quick list of some good things to start adding. And number one is more fruits and vegetables. Pick ones that you enjoy, try a different variety, try new things. But one of the expressions that I heard that has always stuck with me, and it really is so true, is if you want to be more alive than dead, you have to eat foods that are more alive than dead. Fruits and vegetables are just full of all of the nutrients, the minerals and the vitamins, the enzymes, all of the things that your body needs to be vibrant and healthy. And they're in the perfect combinations. Our bodies were designed to extract our nutrients from our food, not necessarily from a tablet of vitamin or a supplement. So really look to add to every meal, if you can, every snack, some fruits and vegetables. Number two thing to add is quality over quantity. So I want you to think now, if you are what you eat, then you are also what you ate. Especially when it comes to animal products, the quality of the foods is really important. A cow that eats grass is actually going to be a healthier animal. It's going to produce meat with fats in it that are healthy fats. They're chemically different than fats in an animal, or a cow in particular, that eats corn. Corn is not a cow's natural diet. Corn is, going to put too many omega-6s into the animal, and so the fat isn't as healthy. Pesticides, antibiotics, all of that, and obviously organic, free-range animal products tend to be more expensive. However, if we are choosing quality over quantity and making our portion maybe a little smaller and filling up the plate with a little more vegetables and fruits, then we're going to balance it out, right? The expense isn't going to be so great, but it's kind of a training process and asking your body, do I really want more, or am I satisfied with this amount? The quick on animal products, the higher in fat it is, the more that product will retain pesticides and things like that. So full fat dairy, butter, all of that ideally grass-fed, free-range, organic. And if that's not possible, if it's not available, it's too expensive, then the lower fat versions of things, chicken over steak, non-fat over full fat, tends to have less of the chemicals and stuff that can get amplified as we go up the food chain. Things build up as far as those chemicals go. Number 3 thing to add, and I've touched on it a little bit, are good fats. Fats are good. Your body needs fats. It wants fats. It will help when you consume fat. It helps you to absorb more vitamins from your food. There are fat-soluble vitamins that you absolutely have to have fat in your meal to get the most of those vitamins into your body. And they make you feel satisfied. The meal tends to be more delicious, more satisfying, and then we end up typically not craving something later because that meal was really what our body needed, and we feel satisfied. And that's an important part of eating, is feeling satisfied by what you've eaten. So good fats, raw nuts and seeds, olive oil, olives, avocados, avocado oil, coconuts, coconut oil. One thing I think is a really simple swap is to change your cooking oil. So the vegetable oil, canola oil, corn oil, all of those refined seed oils are really, I think, among the worst things in our diet are those unhealthy oils. Unfortunately, pretty much every packaged food that you get is made with unhealthy processed oils. So we've got this overwhelming amount of unhealthy fats in our diet. So we've got to go out of our way to put good fats in. And switching your cooking oil, say from corn oil or vegetable oil to coconut oil, or an extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, really simple swap. You'll hardly notice the difference. You'll be putting some good fats into your body. Last thing, number 4 thing to add to your diet is more whole foods. Try to err on the side of food as close to the way nature intended it as possible. We're always going to have processed food in our diet, and I'm not saying to try to avoid it entirely, eliminate it, say you can't, don't, it's bad. That creates more of a problem than it's worth. But just strive for adding whole, unprocessed foods as often as possible. For example, instead of a granola bar, we might be able to pre-chop up some veggies and have some veggies and hummus as a snack. It takes a little preparation sometimes to go more whole food than processed, but when you can, make the effort and your body will certainly thank you. So those are the 4 things I want you to think about adding. I really want to emphasize that this is not about taking things out. It's about putting more good stuff in your body to nourish it. Enjoy the foods you eat. Enjoy the experience of eating. I'd like to touch on one more thing that we can add is a little pause and a little gratitude. Every time you're about to eat something, even when you're in a rush, you can take 2 seconds to take a deep breath and notice the fact that you're going to be putting some food in your body. And this is an opportunity to nourish yourself, to help your body to be healthy and strong, and to be grateful for the food and be grateful for your body. Just that little shift in energy is huge. No matter what you're eating, even if it's something that you think is not healthy for you, just take a moment, add some gratitude, add a little reflection. So that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. I want to wrap this all up by saying that hopefully when you watch and you engage in these classes, you are looking for that one little thing that seems easy and doable for you to make a little shift in how you take care of your body, how you think about your body, and to lead you to expressing your full potential. I used to spend a lot of time teaching the ins and outs of nutrition, and I want to point out that there are 4 things that your body requires. Okay, without them, you will not live. And food is one of them. So it is pretty important. But you can go for a couple of weeks if you had to without food at all. So it's very important. It's what we call one of your vital needs, but it's not the most important thing. Now, we know that water is more important than food because you can only go a few days without food. So what we would say is water is a more vital need than food. You can only go a few days without it, so it's absolutely critical for your life. And if you don't get it, then you're not going to live. Now, above water is oxygen. And you know that you wouldn't make it but a couple of minutes, if that, without oxygen getting to your brain. So oxygen is a far more vital need than water or even food. Now, something that you've probably never thought about, but is incredibly important, is the fact that even more important than oxygen is the electrical signals that your brain is sending down your spinal cord to your body. If your spinal cord were severed and those signals stopped, death is instant. You don't get a few minutes or a few hours or a few days. Death is instant. So the communication between your brain and your body, those electrical signals coming from the brain and from the body back to the brain, that is your body's most vital need. Everything else pales in comparison to it. Now, the quality with which you meet those needs will determine the quality of your health and your well-being. So if we're barely meeting those needs, right? We're surviving, we're alive, but we're not thriving. But those are the 4 things that without which you will die. So we know they're critical. And every little bit of energy and effort that you put into any one of those 4 vital needs is going to be impactful upon your health. And it kind of goes along with, where are they on the scale? So food, you can go weeks without food, and when you make changes to your diet, you may start to notice changes in your health in weeks. If you start drinking more water or hydrating your body better, then you might start to notice improvements in your health within a couple of days. And if you stop and you take some deep breaths, you do some diaphragmatic breathing, you better oxygenate your tissues, you will feel different in a couple of minutes. And when you make changes to your nerve system by getting adjusted, then you're going to see a change in your physiology and the way your body is working, the way your brain is processing information instantly. Now, that does not mean that a pain or a symptom or something going on, your stress response is going to instantly change, right? But instantly, the brain-body communication is different. Instantly, your body is functioning at a higher level and is going to work on healing and changing and improving all that it knows that it needs to take care of. So above all, I want you to think about your nutrition. I want you to think about nourishing your body. Above all, make sure that you're caring for your nerve system properly. So I hope that everyone got some good tidbits out of that. Thank you all for letting me know that you're watching. We've got you down for attendance. And if you really were supposed to, like a lot of you were, meant to see getting the most out of your adjustment, you'll find it saved on YouTube. Have a super evening, and I look forward to seeing you all.